show. It's so unique. It's colorful. It's innovative, and this is sort of a Wicked tie-in for you. It strikes me as how The Wizard of Oz would look, or how it should look if The Wizard of Oz were to be turned into a TV series. You know,
I have to say that's probably why I related to it. I mean, Barry Sonnenfeld, our director, was just so good at making it look more different than anything I'd seen on television. And it was a lot of hours. It was like shooting a movie every week. But it was worth it because the quality of it. I mean, when I watch the show, even now, I just go, wow, have you ever seen anything like that? It's gorgeous. Yeah. They're going to make it into a comic book series, and I'm really happy that Pushing Daisies can live on in any way.
Yeah.
And I know he's teasing about writing the movie, so I really hope he does that as well. Because when we ended, we didn't end with any sort of closure because we didn't know we were canceled. So I really hope he writes the movie, and I'm so glad that he got the deal with the comic book series because people care about Ned and Chuck and Olive and Emerson and the ants. They want to know. They want to know what's going to happen.
Oh yeah. I mean, I do. I'm dying to know what happened. I'm happy that ABC is finally going to show the last 3 episodes that haven't aired. They're finally starting that next month. So I'm really looking forward to that. But I want to get back to your book because, see, I love this. You describe your relationship with Mr. Ryder, a.k.a. Aaron Sorkin, as on again, off again. So what can you tell us about where things stand now?
Yeah, we're going to have to wait for sequel for that?
I think you might have to wait for the sequel. Right now it's off. But I can tell you this. I mean, how lucky am I that I fell in love with somebody who's one of the best writers that we have alive today. Yeah. And for him to say, when I said, hey, I want to do this, but do you think it's weird? And I'm not Shakespeare, and blah blah blah. And he's like, stop putting yourself down, and B, I want to write a chapter on how we met. So that really meant a lot to me. And I said, well, at least we know one chapter is going to be good.
Oh.
But it meant a lot to me that he wrote in it, and that was a relationship in my life that was it was massive. It was huge. It was so important and so wonderful. And though we're off, I think that he'll always be in my, he's going to be in my life. So,
I'm pulling for a fairy tale ending because I love the chapter he wrote about when you met. It's just it melted my heart.
She's about to cry again.
I know. I have to. I'm getting a little bit, but it's not. But you know what? No, guys, because it's not just mine. We got a Twitter message from one of our listeners in Norway. Now, wait, you're on Twitter now, right, Kristen?
I'm a Twitterer.
Yay!
And you know what got me started is I was on the Tonight Show the other night, and McCain was on, who, by the way, in person is such a lovely man. And he said, I'm Twittering. And I said, no, I don't believe it. And he showed me. So I thought, well, if John McCain can Twitter, I certainly can. So I'm enjoying it. I like it.
Oh, well, we're on Twitter, too, and we sent out a few tweets asking our listeners to send in questions that they'd like to ask you, and we're not going to be able to get to all of them, unfortunately, but we did get a question for you about Mr. Ryder, and this comes from Lynn Larson Kostad in Norway, and she says, I'd love for someone to write about me what Mr. Ryder wrote about you. How did you feel when you read that?
Well, first of all, Lynn in Norway, thank you for your question. I can tell you that when I read it, I bawled.
Oh,
Yeah.
I
started crying because the memory of how we met, the actual memory of him standing and waiting for me outside the hotel by the car, those are things nobody can take from you.
Right.
And then when I saw my mom read the chapter and she started crying, I was like, oh, okay, it's not just me. It was such, not only was it an honor, but it's something that I'll always have of him. Like, nobody can take that from me,
Mm-hmm.
And obviously it touched my heart deeply.
It was such a great chapter. All the book is good. Okay. Let's see. Let's go with one more Twitter question. Lily Dale wants to know, what can you tell us about your role on Glee?
Well, first of all, I just have to give a shout-out to the show because I saw the pilot and flipped out. I thought it was amazing. I really loved it.
Nice.
And the cast is amazing. Matthew Morrison is the star, and Jane Lynch is the star, and they're just unbelievable. And all the kids are just, you can't believe the talent. But Ryan Murphy, who directed me in a small part in Running with Scissors, said, hey, I want you to come on the show because it's his show, and he goes, I'm going to write you a special part. And with the help of another writer, Ian Brennan, he wrote this part of April Rhodes, who comes back to Glee Club because she used to be kind of the deal in high school, and we find out what's happened to her in her life and why she kind of ended up where she ended up, and it's really funny. I can't give too much away, but I will say that I sing 3 songs that nobody would ever expect me to
really
sing.
Nice.
And I love this show. I hope it succeeds.
Oh, awesome.
Hey, and you're also working with David E. Kelley on a project. Is that right?
We just wrapped the pilot, so we're waiting to see if it gets picked up. It's called Legally Mad, and one of my dreams in my career was to be able to work for him. And so when this project came to me and he kind of said, well, I kind of wrote it with you in mind, I was like, I'm in. But it's an eccentric law firm, and I play one of the lawyers named Skippy, and she is a cross between Elle Woods and Tracy Flick from Election, and obviously a very, very fun character to play. So I'm hoping that goes as well.
I'm so going to watch that. I cannot wait for that to come out. But I want to ask you about one last project. I'm dying to know about this because in your book you said that when you first met your manager, Danielle, that she said to you she was going to change your life. And one of the things she was going to do was to get you cast as Dolly Parton in a movie about her life, which I think you would be perfect for. So is this going to happen? Is it on the horizon?
No. There's been a lot of talk about this, and I had met Dolly. I've met Dolly on, 2 occasions, and she's absolutely what you think she is, the sweetest, most precious, kind lady ever.
Love her.
And I'm so excited about her Broadway 9 to 5 because she's really done kind of everything in her career. And there's some meetings set up for me about this project, and I think that out of every celebrity that I know of, Dolly Parton is somebody that I can really relate to, and that I think I could do her proud, and so hopefully that'll happen. I'm really praying that it does because she's one of my idols. She was a huge musical influence for me as a kid, and we'll see what happens. Everybody, keep your fingers crossed.
Oh, yeah.
Crossed, they're crossed. Oh, well. Kristin, look, I know you've got to go. We know you've got a busy day. Kristin's going to be at the LA Times Festival of Books today. She has her first signing at noon at the UCLA Book Zone. So head down there and see her if you get a chance.
Hey, Kristin, listen, before you go, you have to sing something for us.
Oh, God, I would maybe what, like a little Judy Garland?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, come a little bit, yeah?
Way over the rainbow, way up high, there's a land that I heard of once in a lullaby. If happy little bluebirds fly beyond the rainbow, why, oh why can't
Woo! Yeah.
Gina is crying again.
She's totally crying.
Stop it. Oh,
Twice in one,
Kristin,
3 times in one
stop.
show.
Oh, thank you so much, Kristin, for coming on the show today.
Thank you for having me, Gina. Take care.
Oh, thank you. Yay!
Wow.